Can you hear me?
Yes. Thank you so much. That was amazing. What a fantastic presentation. I think for all of us at GSN, it is so exciting to see Forbes Travel Guide taking a lead here and really pushing things forward, because literally you set the standard for what's happening in luxury hospitality. Why do you think this is the time? Why is now the time to have this focus on sustainability? And do you think there's any correlation to what we just went through with the pandemic?
I do, yes. So for us, we really started to see that sustainability was something that the luxury and affluent traveler was looking at. So in 2021, that's when we started introducing our standards in sustainability. We thought this is going to be something that's continuing. We knew that it was not a trend. And so from those numbers that I shared with you, you can see that this is something that the traveler is looking for. And not just the affluent traveler, but the younger traveler, as they start to be able to afford to travel, definitely something that the younger generations are looking at. So we really wanted to make sure that we, as you mentioned, we take our job very responsibly, and we know that we are partners with some of the most amazing leading hotel companies in the world, and so we want to do our fair share with that, and so it was important for us to make it a priority.
Great.
You had mentioned a little bit about the pandemic. So when the pandemic happened, we created a similar verification program for cleanliness, because we wanted the guests who were traveling to know that when you go to these properties, they are taking those extra steps to keep everyone safe. And so we're now moving past that into this program.
Great. I also wanted to ask you a little bit about the close relationship between spa, wellness, and sustainability. So at my property currently, I'm the director of spa, but I also have taken on sustainability initiatives property-wide. And I'm wondering if that is a trend that you're seeing. Is this something that could be future growth opportunity for other spa directors?
Absolutely. I think that all of the spa directors in here should want to be able to step outside of the spa to help the resorts on a larger scale. Now, I also know that many spa directors are so busy working the front desk because you're understaffed that you don't have time to do anything else, and that is a reality. It's hard to be able to work on these larger concepts when you are so thick in the day-to-day operations that you're like, I don't have time because I'm washing clothes and towels and I'm working the front desk and I'm taking reservations. But yes, when you can, I think that it's a really wonderful thing to be able to do. And similar to what you're doing at Ojai, that was something that I was passionate about at Meadowwood. I wanted to take a larger step. And because spa is in part of this overall, it also helps us as professionals grow. And as you expand outside of the walls of the spa, if that's something that you're interested in, if you want to move your career and start to expand, it's a great opportunity to say, I have worked with the rest of the property and this is what I've done.
Now, when Spa Ojai was awarded the 5th star, that was a huge moment of pride and accomplishment for myself and my team. But I wanted to ask you, aside from being part of the club, which we're very honored to be a part of, what are some of the other quantifiable benefits that come from being rated 4 or 5 star?
So yes, you definitely have the bragging rights.
Yes.
It's a very, very difficult thing to achieve, as we've been talking about. One, I think most of us who have star-rated properties know that we can raise our prices, so the revenue is there. I also think that it helps with retention. Many times when I was interviewing massage therapists or estheticians and I say, why did you want to come and work for me or us, it was because they would say, well, you're a 5-star property and I want to work for the best. And so a lot of times that will help with retention. They want to work in one of the best properties. Also, that puts more money in their pocket a lot of times. And I also think that there are other things that we work with. So for example, for our partners, we have a third party that we work with called Journey, and it's a $6,000 value, and Journey will help pair you with social influencers that actually are going to do something for you. So nowadays everyone's a social influencer, and you have these people come and you all see it happen, right? I want a 1-week stay, complimentary spa treatments, and this is, I'll give you 5 posts, you know, and so now this company will actually work with these influencers to guarantee that you're getting the most bang for your buck. So there are some things like that. We offer great training videos and all of those different things. So I like to think that it's a very symbiotic relationship.
That's interesting, I've never heard of them. You mentioned in your presentation how important it is to share what you're doing with community and with associate programming. What is the best way for us to communicate those efforts to Forbes Travel Guide?
Great question. Well, again, there are a couple of different departments. So obviously we have our partnership vice presidents that are your direct contact, so we can make sure that we share all of those initiatives and we can make it known. Our partners are listed on our website, so when they go to your spa or your hotel, that can be listed. But it's also important for us too, if we know, we can always give the evaluators a little bit of a heads up and they can keep their eyes open for it. But I think it's important for you to look at all of the different ways that you can share this. So as I mentioned, it should be on your websites. It can be in your digital menus. We want to make sure that your guests who are choosing to come to your spa know that you are serious about this and you're taking these steps, because there are 20,000 spas in the United States right now. There are a lot of them are not practicing sustainability. So if you can use that as just one way to set yourself apart, why would you not want to make sure that you're sharing that with your guests?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Michael, a little personal question. What has it been like going from the operations side to now being a trainer at all of these beautiful properties?
I really miss people calling out sick. I would say the thing that I miss the most is having an actual team that you get to create a family and a culture with. That is something that I had always loved doing, and also being a mentor to staff. I think I always had amazing mentors, so to be able to mentor my young leaders and to see where they've all gone has just been so wonderful for me. So I do miss that aspect of it. It's also strange that I have to buy skincare and stuff now these days. Kula is really expensive. But one of the things that I love most about my position now is now I get to travel around. I always felt very blessed that I had amazing teams, and I thought, this is one of the best teams ever. But now I get to go around and see there are so many amazing teams, and the fact that I get to go and be a part of another company for 2 or 3 days and get the team inspired. For me, when I go and I train, I always talk about the why. Why is what we do so important? I always tell people hospitality, it's about taking care of other human beings, and we have a very big responsibility in that. And for those of you who have been in the industry for a long time, you might remember that beautiful video about gratitude that they showed at iSpa Louis Schwartzberg. Do you all remember that? I share that video as much as I can because I think it's so important for us to practice that gratitude and pay it forward, and we have a very big responsibility in that. And for our properties that are rated, you have to achieve a 90% at a hotel to achieve a 5-star rating. For spas, it's 92% because our spas perform higher. And I always tell spas, that's not on accident. It's because we all work from here. And so when you work from your heart and you give, that is what true luxury is. And so that's probably one of the best things that I love. And being able to, just as your spa for an example, being able to see these people put in so much work and to be able to go from a 4-star to a 5-star, I feel like I'm a proud parent. Like I get to celebrate with you, which is always amazing.
Very cool. We wanted to open it up. Does anyone else have a question for Michael?
Hi, I'm Jen Hillieu. Actually, it's more of a statement, I guess. I would say first, thank you so much for sharing the Dirty Dozen. I appreciate that. I actually come from the cleaning side of the business, so I don't have all these great sexy skincare products, but I would encourage you to kind of consider, you know, looking at both from a sustainability and from a chemical standpoint, adding bleach and quaternary ammonias, which are highly cancerous and are used throughout a number of hotels and spas for cleaning and disinfecting, that there are a number of options out there to be able to eliminate and like avoid these harmful chemicals in the cleaning process that are still as effective. And so I'd hope next time we meet, it's a Dirty Dozen +2, which is avoiding bleach and quaternary ammonias, because there's a lot of single-use plastic bottles that are included in cleaning products, wipes, and a number of other things. So, but mainly the harmful chemicals. So.
Yeah, that Dirty Dozen is really more for the ingredients of products, but we definitely include our cleaning supplies in part of this new program that we're doing. And so it is important to make sure that we're paying attention to that. In fact, for our properties, one of the things that we look for from a housekeeping perspective is that when they go in to clean the bathrooms, they actually put an underliner on the counter, and then they put all of our personal items on top of the underliner because of those harsh chemicals. If you have a makeup brush that's sitting on the counter, it is touching that bleach or whatever else was on there. So that is one of the things that we're looking at. And now we have properties that are using clean products. So now they're coming back to us and saying, well, do we still need to use the mat because we're not using harsh chemicals anymore? So, and that's one of the beauties about Forbes Travel Guide is every year we have a whole group of amazing hotel professionals from all over the world, and they are part of our standard advisory committee. And they look at the standards every single year to figure out what needs to come off, what needs to be added, what needs to be changed, and so it's constantly evolving. And so I think that that is a great comment to make. Hi.
Generally, like, what are the top 1 to 3 challenges you hear from hotels or spas, why they're not going after Forbes?
Well, it's very hard work, and it also can be expensive in terms of staffing. Now, I do want to let everyone in here know we are not a pay-for-play company. We have some properties that earn their stars, and we do no other business with them at all. They don't participate, they don't have to participate. But we also have our properties that will have us come in and do training, and so that can be a cost involved. But when you talk about luxury, you have to have a little bit more staff per person, per guest. And so sometimes that can be a challenge. And also too, it is hard work. So once you achieve that for that 5-star, it's not guaranteed that you're gonna maintain it. We have properties that go on, you know, we have had properties that have lost their stars. And it's constant, and so it's not for all staff. You know, I work with some staff members, bless their hearts, who they want a star rating, and it's not part of their DNA. And so when I had a 5-star spa, you probably do the same thing. I used to try to tell people that they did not want to work for me. I tried to let them know, like, when you come in here, it is hard work. You have to give 100% every day. And so, you know, I want you to love where you're working, and I want you to love coming in, but there are very high expectations. And there is a limited number of staff that want to be able to perform at that level. Lynn.
I have a comment, not a question, but for years, Forbes has been this elusive, you know, this elusive group that comes in. We don't know when you're coming. We don't know what exactly you're looking for many, many years. And now that you're there, I feel like we have a secret hotline. And I very, very much appreciate all you have done to educate us and all of us about very specific things instead of elusive things. So anyway, thank you for all the effort you put in and all the emails you answer and our phone calls, and yeah, you are our secret hotline for sure.
Thank you. Our trainers that I work with, there are about 30 of us now, and I am the only person who comes from the spa industry. Everyone else is either hotel or food and beverage, and so I have been very, grateful that I have an opportunity to work with all of you and give you a little bit more insight. And please, always feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions about the standards or anything else. We certainly don't want to be elusive, and I have no idea. I've never met the evaluators. It's a completely different department, so that's one thing I can't help you with. I can't tell you when the evaluators come in because I have no idea myself. But if you ever have any questions about anything, I'm always here and available, so absolutely.
Hi, good morning,
Good morning.
Diane. Thank you so much for your presentation. I really, really loved the efforts that you call out at the beginning of your presentation. And I also have some kind of comment statement too regarding that, specifically waste management. And I think also a call to action, because during this couple of days, I've met amazing spa directors that are doing a great effort on being sustainable, and including this eco-conscious brands and trying to reuse or reduce. But what about recycling? Because if you guys look in front of your table right now, most of you try to use glass. That is something that we can reuse. But some of you have also used plastic. Even though with the mentality of being sustainable and not creating waste, there is always a waste creation when we're having any type of activity of action. And we can look at the hotel side, and even though we have glass bottles or we try to reduce the quantity of amenity bottles, there is still waste being produced there. And if we look at the salons or the spas that are within the hotels, there is some type of beauty waste being produced there. When somebody comes to your salon and gets a haircut, hair trimmings are also a type of waste. So I think kind of the call to action is to understand not only your products and your clients, but your waste. Because that is happening every single day. When you're opening a bottle of glass of soap that you purchased because it was glass, that also comes in a cardboard. It comes in packaging. It comes sometimes in plastic too, which is kind of ironic. But I think it's kind of that, like a call to action of understanding the waste that you are producing with the products that you are trying to be sustainable with, but also create waste,
Yes.
And you can see at the hotels and the spas and at the salons too. So I think it's kind of a common call to action, I would say.
We do look for properties that have recycling available, and that can be as simple as having 2 bins in the guest rooms, a recycling bin and a trash bin. And there are some properties that don't have it, but they say they recycle on the back end of it, right? We have to kind of trust that, but I agree. And in fact, I think it was maybe the first year I attended Green Spa Network. No, it was when we were in Ojai. There was a company there that actually you could send them the hair and the wax and the goo. Yeah,
Yes.
and I think
So
that's.
after flow recycling,
Oh,
you can also
perfect.
send us the hair.
Okay, perfect, yeah, sorry.
Or use it to
I haven't
detour
been
the
on
deer.
course, so, yes, being able to, it's so important, right? To be able to really think about high level, when you can do something like that, how amazing. But again, you have to make sure that you are sharing this with your clients so that they know they are going to be so impressed. And that also will help them become a client for life. If they know that you are recycling their hair and their dirty wax to turn it into renewable energy, like that is going to make them feel like they are part of it. They are choosing to come to your salon or your spa because they want to be a part of this larger piece of I'm doing my part by not going to a spa or salon that is not. So I think it's great to be able to offer things like that.
Definitely awareness and education.
Yes.
Is an ongoing thing when you
Yes.
think about sustainability.
Yeah, thank you. One more question, Darcy had a question.
Michael, I just have a question on the Forbes 5-star in the new sustainability. Can you get a sustainability rating without being a 5-star spa? Based on so our brand, right, One Hotels started as a sustainable company and we're growing and every single decision is made based on, right, my background is Forbes 5-star, right? So I've had a hard time transitioning, how do you get sustainable luxury, right? So do you have to have separate ratings or?
That is a great question.
Great question.
And I do not have the answer to that right now.
Okay.
Since it is a new program, I have some information on it, but again, with it being launched in a few weeks, but I'm happy to follow up with you on it. I think it would be great. I don't know if that's something that we're gonna offer, but yes.
Okay, thank you.
Of course.
Michael, thank you so much. What a